Hello my friends, how are you? I hope you are doing great. Welcome to another YouTube channel. And we're gonna be reviewing some Monkey flashcard as usual. And my friends, the greatest things about this YouTube channel is we are studying words profoundly or deeply, not just at a surface level. But as if you have already watched the previous video that I have uploaded yesterday, I provide meaning and a bunch of sentences, and also I role play a scenario with my teacher so it can nudge me to use the word naturally. So let's dive into it. We're gonna use jacking up. This is the first word that we will review in this YouTube video. Hello teacher, how are you? I hope you are doing great. I would like to review some Monkey flashcard and to practice speaking through roleplay scenarios that will both enable me to wave in the word naturally and also to practice speaking.
I'm doing great, Ismail. I'm ready for your flashcard practice. Share a word you want to focus on, and I'll craft a roleplay scenario that nudges you to use it naturally while you lead the conversation.
Thank you very much teacher. So we're gonna start with the first word, which is jacking up. The meaning of the word jacking up, it means when prices they increase hugely or exponentially, or when prices surge. I think it is mostly referred to the increase of prices. So some sentences now using the word jacking up. For example, I can say that when a commodity it is very rare, its price is jacked up. Another sentence using the word jacking up, I can say that. Inflammation leads to the jacking up of prices. So, what do you think about my use of the word jacking up, the senses that provided to you, and the meanings? Even though I think that the senses they were a bit shorter, but they were the only ones I'm able to cook right now. And what do you think about my use of the word to cook to mean to create or to craft?
Your use of jacking up was solid. You captured that idea of prices rising. In your first sentence, just say its price is jacked up rather than it is jacked up. For the second, I tweak it slightly. Inflation leads to jacking up prices. As for cook, it's more natural to say to come up with or to come to mind when referring to ideas. But overall, you're doing well. Keep cooking up those sentences.
Thank you very much, Isra. Now we can jump into a roleplay scenario to both practice speaking authentically and to wave in the word jacking up into our speaking practice naturally to strengthen my understanding of the word.
Let's picture this. You and I are discussing a local marketplace where prices have been shifting. I'm playing a friend who's considering buying something expensive. You can jump in with advice or observations. Ready when you are.
Okay, I'm ready, teacher. You can start first.
All right, imagine I'm looking at a high end phone and I say, I was planning to buy this last year, but something feels different now. What's going on with the pricing lately?
Yeah, I think that the pricing has been jacking up dramatically, and I assume this is due to the taxes. And I think this phone it doesn't worth the expensive price because, as you know, it is just branding and marketing which has increased its price exponentially, or has jacked up its price. So I think it doesn't worth it. And I think whenever I'll provide you with some piece of advice that will really enable you to whether pick something an item that is price is expensive. And I have got this advice from an entrepreneur, which is that you will place the money apart. I don't know whether I've used here the word apart, and you're gonna wait for 1 week. And once this 1 week gonna pass, you will realize or notice that you don't even need this item, this expensive item in the first place. And like that, you will avoid or dodge purchasing something or spending your money on something that is useless and that you wanted just to purchase for showing off, or for showing off.
You handled that scenario well. You wove in jacking up naturally, and your advice made sense. Just remember, instead of doesn't worth, say isn't worth. So you could say set the money aside rather than place the money apart. Other than that, your speaking practice is sounding confident.
Thank you very much, teacher. Now you can jump straight away to your character, as I have already nudged you to do in previous chats. You provide me with the correction and then you jump into your character. And like that, you're gonna keep the conversation flowing naturally.
You got it. So back to our marketplace chat. I hear your advice and I say, you know what? That's actually smart. But if I wait a week, what if they threaten to raise the price again? What would you do then?
Yeah, I'm sure that during this week the price they will not jack it up because I think that the price of this phone had really reached the ceiling, and I'm a bit uncertain about that it will not transcend that ceiling because I think the most expensive price of a phone that I have ever seen is this price, and I think it will not be. I think it will be unreasonable for this price to increase during that week.
That's a fair point. I'll hold off and watch the market. In the meantime, since you seem savvy, what would you recommend I look at if I decide I really need a new gadget after all?
I think we would look at a phone that has better battery. That will. I think the battery is the most important component in a phone, and it makes the phone more reliable. And if a battery lasts with you for days, you will not be annoyed by charging the phone daily. And I think even if the price of a phone jacked up due to its powerful battery, that will be okay because I think it will worth its price.
That's some solid advice. I'll keep my eye out for one with a long lasting battery. Thanks. So if I do find a good deal, I'll let you know, and maybe you can help me review its specs.
Yeah, thank you very much because you are seeking my advices and my yes, because you are seeking my advices regarding your purchases. And what do you think, teacher, about my use of the word your purchase? And let's keep this role play scenario going because I'm really enjoying it. So provide me with correction and immediately play your character and prompt me to practice more speaking and using the word jacking up further.
Your use of your purchase was correct. Just note when plural, it's purchases. Now back in character. I really appreciate your advice, but what if I told you they're offering a deal where the price won't be jacked up? If I buy today, should I trust that?
Yeah, I think it is just a marketing quick scheme. I don't know whether I've used here quick scheme that prompt you to act impulsively and not rationally. So I think you must be patient and wait, and I am sure that the prices they will decrease.
Quick scheme isn't quite right. It's more natural to say a marketing gimmick or tactic in this context. But your advice is sound. Now, how about we shift the scene? Imagine you're at a flea market and I ask your opinion on an old collectible whose price was recently jacked up. What would you tell me?
Please, teacher, can you repeat what you have just said because I didn't get it very well.
Of course, I was just saying let's change the scenario. Picture us at a flea market, and I'm eyeing an old collectible whose price has recently been jacked up. What would you say to me in that situation?
Old collectible. So, teacher, do you mean by old collectible which are things that are very old?
Exactly. I mean items like vintage toys, rare coins, or antique decorations. Things that might have nostalgic or collector value. So let's say I'm holding one up and you notice the price has jumped. What would you tell me about that price increase?
Okay, I will tell you that I think what had led to the jacking up of the prices of this old collectible is that many people have become interested on them for that reason, or therefore the prices has jacked up. I think they really worth this price because this vintage they are very old and they had deep history.
You're weaving the word in really well. Just one tweak. The prices have jacked up could be the prices have been jacked up to sound more natural. Now, if you were trying to haggle for that collectible and noticed that price hike, what negotiation tactic would you use?
Teacher, I would like from you to play your role, not ask me what I would do in a certain situation, just to keep the conversation natural.
Got it. Right. So I'd look at you and say, I know you think it's worth the history, but if the price was jacked up recently, how would you convince the seller that it should come back down to earth?
Okay, here is how I will try. Come with me. Here is how we'll try to convince the seller or ask him to decrease the price because I'm really a great negotiator. Hello, sir. How are you? Teacher, now I would like from you to play the role of the seller. Yeah. So now I would like from you to switch to the role of the seller so I can practice my negotiation skills.
Absolutely. I'll be the seller now. Well, hello. I see you've got an eye on that collectible. It's in high demand, you know, hence the price. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I think that the price of this item had jacked up very dramatically, and I think this is a bit irreasonable. And there is some cracks in it, which will, I think, it must diminish its price.
Ah, you've got a sharp eye. Those cracks do add some character. But since you mentioned it, let's say I'm willing to come down a little. What would be a fair price in your opinion?
Okay, let's sit in the middle, and I will provide you $50. Do you think this is a fair price? And what do you think, teacher, about my use of let's sit in the middle? Is it used correctly?
Let's meet in the middle would sound even smoother. But your intent was clear. As the seller, I'd say $50? How about we meet slightly above that? Say 60, and you've got a deal.
Okay, please let me just ask about my friend whether he has this price, and then we're gonna come back to you. I think probably we're gonna meet just in the middle because above it we will not be able to pay that price.
Take your time. I'll be right here when you and your friend decide. I want this piece to go to someone who appreciates it, so we'll find that middle ground.
Yeah, I'm very glad because you have mentioned that because these pieces they must go into a person who really appreciate them or not a person who will just display them recklessly in a shelf and but a person who would admire these pieces every day when he pass by them when they are displayed or exhibited in a shelf. A person who would carry these adventures and try to reflect on the history that they have witnessed. And what do you think about my use of the word witnessed?
Your use of witnessed is great. It's perfect when referring to history these items have seen over time. You painted a thoughtful image. Now, if you want to wrap up the negotiation in the roleplay, how would you finalize it with me as the seller?
Okay, thank you very much, teacher, for decreasing the price. We really appreciate that, and we know a lot of friends who are interested in vintages and old collectible. We're gonna suggest your store, and like that, you're gonna acquire more customers.
That's a generous offer. I'd say, well, thank you. Word of mouth is priceless. I'm happy we struck a deal, and I hope you'll enjoy that piece every day. Now that we've closed the deal, is there another word or scenario you'd like to dive into next?
Teacher, it was really great roleplay scenario because I have both practiced the word jacking up and also negotiation. I'm very happy because you have been able to transition or to switch into the negotiator smoothly.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it. You did an awesome job navigating both the vocabulary and the negotiation flow. Each scenario builds more confidence. Whenever you're ready for the next challenge, whether a new word or another scenario, I'm here to help you keep leveling up.
Okay, so now, my friends, let's emerge into another word. Not emerge, but actually, let's immerse. I think this is the right word. Okay, now teacher, let's jump into another word which is comes to grip with reality. It is a very interesting word to meet reality as it is without pretending that the reality is good and that is good. And for example, I can say that let's imagine that not imagine but actually this has happened to me. I had a lot of makeup exams but I kept wasting my time doing some other things. I wasn't really wasting my time but I was doing things that are not directly linked to reviewing for the makeup exams. A person came to me and told me that I need to come to grip with reality, that if I don't review for my exams intensely and restlessly, I will fail this year. So it was really a wake-up call, and I started to review for these makeup exams around the clock. Teacher, I have two new expressions while waving in the word expression comes to grip with reality. The first one, which is wake up call. I'm very glad because I have used this expression. Wake up call, I think it means something that warns us, that wake us up to take actions. So, what do you think, teacher, about my use of the word comes to grips with reality? And also, what do you think of the sentence that I have crafted using this word? I'm very proud of this sentence because I think it sounds really natural.
You should be proud. Your sentence flowed naturally, and you nailed come to grips with reality. It fit perfectly in your story. Also, your use of wake up call was spot on. It's exactly that urgent realization. If you'd like to dive into another roleplay scenario to use it in conversation, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, let's jump into roleplay scenario, teacher. And as usual, I would like from you to follow the same sequence, which is to correct my mistake, then jump straight away to your characters to keep the conversation flow. And while playing your character, when you spawn, I would like from you to nudge me or prompt me again to practice more speaking.
Absolutely, I'm ready to keep that rhythm. So, let's imagine I'm a friend of yours who's been procrastinating on a big project. I mentioned that I'm just waiting for the perfect time. You can jump in and help me come to grips with reality.
Okay, I'm sure that you are working for the perfect time, and you know, we are very lucky because I have just finished the book that addresses this problem that is sabotaging or impeding all the people in the earth. And this resistance, it provides you with these illusions that you are not yet ready for tackling this project. You need to summon your energy and wait for inspiration. And also, on all this rationalization and the excuses are just things that are causing you to postpone working on the project. So all you have to do is just get to the work and start, and you will feel and you will be amazed by all the inspiration that you're gonna get if you truly get to the work. So you need to come to grip with reality. The deadline is approaching, and if you don't start working on it, your company will fail, and it will go belly up.
You delivered that very effectively. I'd just say soar my
Yeah, I'm
and
so yeah. Go on, teacher. I'm sorry because I've interrupted you.
no worries at all. You did great, and I was just going to nudge you back into the flow. So, in character, I'd say, wow, that's a wake up call. What's the first concrete step you'd suggest I take today to start tackling that project?
I think you already know the concrete step that you must take in order to complete your project, but it is suck doing it. It is uncomfortable to do it. All you have to do is just to get into your desk, open your laptop, and start tackling your work. There is nothing strange.
You brought it home well. That's clear and motivating. You've not only used the expression naturally, but kept the conversation flowing. If you ever need another scenario or word, I'll be here ready to jump into character again.
Thank you very much, teacher.
You're always welcome. I really enjoy these sessions with you. Whenever you're ready for the next step, I'll be here to support you. Keep it up.
Okay, so here, my friends, we have some sentences for the word comes to grip with reality. Here, there is a person. He seems very sad and sorrow. He's sitting on a bench, and it seems that it is autumn, and he's carrying a paper, which is a bit not stretches, not stress. Yeah, stretches. I think this is the right word. And I think this paper, it might be the paper of his resignment, or he had been fired from his job, and he must to come to grips with reality and find some an alternative job, or yeah. So life is hard, and being in such circumstances requires a tough mindset so we can emerge successful from these setbacks.